Hello, good day, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to my very first Get High Before You Buy, a series of videos where I want to discuss and give impressions of games that I have played that actually made me want to get off my ass and write about them. In this current moment of our shared existence, I want to talk about Chivalry 2. A game that, to be honest, without googling it, is pretty hard for me to define. It isn't a simulator, and I feel that anyone expecting as much may find themselves a little disappointed, or there is plenty more to like about this game. It's closer to a team-based first/third-person fighting game. Players hack, slash, stab, and counter-attack their way to an eventual victory in objective, team deathmatch, or free-for-all modes. Weapon variety in the movesets in a weird way, or maybe it's because at this point everything reminds me of Dark Souls. Makes me feel like I'm in a fast-paced first-person Dark Souls. It has all the usuals of a multiplayer-only title, leveling up, cosmetics, and classes, all of which are nice additions to the package. The devs decided to omit any kind of season pass or daily challenges, which I commend wholeheartedly, though I'd be a liar if I were to say that there wasn't a part of me deep down that wanted them at least a little bit. You can earn all these cosmetics and weapons in-game just through playing, which is pretty cool. There's no specific challenges to get it, so you can obviously buy a premium currency, which I'm not a particularly huge fan of, but you do get a cute little warning message saying that if you're not in the position, don't, and it's only to support the devs, so I guess I'm all for that. Anyway, back to the actual hacking and slashing, and my god, Chivalry just feels bloody great. Everything from the swings, to the slashes, the stabs, first or third person, man, I'm having a great time. Some may find it on the repetitive side, I do declare, but there's a lot of depth to be found for those that want to go beyond just wildly swinging with a greatsword. Not that that isn't an awesome option. I'm not going to compare it to its previous title or Mordhau because my experience was so long ago with the former and almost non-existent with the latter. But I've heard from friends and forums, who am I kidding, that the skill floor has been lowered by a significant margin, making it more likely that new players will actually get a chance to stick around and wet their sword instead of being crushed by Mr. 10,000 hours. And like I said before, my experience in this first-person melee action genre is pretty limited, but I've been having just an amazing time getting up there on the scoreboards, doing my darndest. The excellent feeling combat system is well complemented by Chivalry's atmosphere. The battles are huge and chaotic, with players rushing to points while spamming their cheer button until it is broken. Swords clash, warriors taunt, and the sparsely used music adds a huge cinematic tone, and let me add, is performed by a live orchestra, which makes my ears melt with happiness. The game itself has two different factions. You have the Mason Order and the Agatha Knights. I've basically boiled that down to red versus blue. But if you are into that sort of thing, the game includes a detailed lore page with a bit of flavor for your battles if you need to really get into it. Personally, I haven't really delved too deep into it myself, but I could totally imagine some Team Fortress 2 style world building going on here, some funny clips. The game itself is absolutely seething with humor, Monty Python-esque. I know it's probably been said before, but that's because it is apt. Now, there isn't any really laugh-out-loud moments, but the whole jovial tone of the game is incredibly enjoyable and lighthearted. It's wholesome.
Oh no, they've come to kill us! Dimensions, you're coming! But I'll dispose of you!
Some maps and modes, they're pretty varied. There's not too many of them, but each one is asymmetrical for either side, and they have multiple steps. The objectives themselves seem to borrow from a lot of past multiplayer games that I've played, but in a way that feels unique to Chivalry. You've pushed the cart, you've stolen the gold, you've destroyed the X, you've captured the point, but have you done all these things from a first-person melee perspective while spamming your cheer button? If the answer to that is no, then what are you doing with your life, mate? From a technical perspective, the game looks bloody awesome. Art-wise, it doesn't quite grab me in any way, but all the customization options And just the way the maps are laid out, I mean, you must have had a pretty good pen hand to get something like this. I'm playing on a 3060 Ti, and I'm generally getting around 100 frames at 2K. Not complaining with that. And even with the million of ways to attack and defend against someone, the game generally looks well animated and choreographed. Also, the FOV slider goes to 120, so hell yeah, brother. Also, I give a bit of a shout out to the mixing of the audio, even though the voices can be a little quiet at times. I'd completely forgotten how chaotic 32v32 can be, but Chivalry does a pretty great job at maintaining clarity in the whirling of swords and explosions. It just all adds to this immense feeling of immersion, especially when you play in first person. I'm a fan of the third person. I've been playing a lot of Total War and Bannerlord, and it's really refreshing to feel part of a bombastic siege where all the participants don't just patiently wait at a ladder while hellfire rains upon. There are a few little negatives to the title. Apparently the publisher had claimed that you could play cross-play with your friends, but that was more a jumbling of words. You can play cross-play with people on other consoles, but you can't cross-party. So, I mean, that sucks. But it does add to the longevity of the title to be crossplay, and controller players aren't really at a major disadvantage with a game of this nature. I played on the PC, and to be honest, I have struggled to get into a party with my friends just on the PC as well, resulting in us having to restart our games a couple times. Doesn't take that long, shouldn't happen. Give it a few weeks maybe. This is still the opening week. My time with Chivalry 2 has been extremely positive. I've been yearning for a good multiplayer game to sink my teeth into for a while, but nothing's really grabbed me. To be honest, this game makes me feel like I'm Braveheart. I've never seen Braveheart, but it makes me feel like what I imagine Braveheart to be. I'm Braveheart. That, in a way, kind of sums up my feelings of the whole game. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Chivalry 2. If you want, you can comment on the video itself. I have a lot of games to talk about, and it's getting to the point where I might just have to talk into a microphone. So thank you everybody for watching, and if you enjoy, hit a follow, subscribe, whatever. I also stream on Twitch at Stone Skeleton. Thank you very much, and good morning.